A goal that never should have counted, a penalty that never was, and a game completely turned upside down. All because of a referee's decision. These aren't just mistakes, they're moments that changed the course of history. From shockwaves in the stadium to nationwide outrage, some of the most unforgettable moments in football weren't created by the players, but by the men in the middle of it all. So what happens when the refs get it so wrong that it feels like the game itself is broken? Let's dive into the 5 most jaw-dropping, head-scratching referee decisions that still have people questioning reality. You won't believe what went down. In February 2022, during a tense Premier League clash between Everton and Manchester City, something happened that left football fans scratching their heads and Everton fans losing their minds. City was leading 1-0, and with just minutes left, a hopeful ball bounced inside their box. Rodri tried to control it, and suddenly, boom, it clearly struck his arm. Not just a brush. We're talking full-on hand-to-ball contact. Now, under the rules, that's a penalty, clear as day. VAR had every angle, zoomed in, slowed down, HD, you name it. But somehow, no penalty. The referee said play on. VAR, silent. It felt like everyone was watching a different game. Everton's manager Frank Lampard was furious, and rightfully so. After the match, he said even his 3-year-old daughter could have seen it was handball. Harsh? Maybe. Accurate? Also maybe. The fallout was big. The PGMOL, the group that manages referees in English football, actually apologized to Everton. Their boss, Mike Riley, admitted the officials messed up. When the people in charge say, yeah, our bad, you know it was bad. Here's why it mattered. Manchester City was fighting to win the Premier League title. Everton, they were trying to stay out of the relegation zone. That one penalty not given could have meant a draw, and 1 point could have made a world of difference for Everton. It's not just a bad call, it's a decision that shook both ends of the league table. And the most expensive part? That mistake didn't just cost Everton a penalty, it could have cost them millions. Staying in the Premier League is worth around 150 million in revenue. One missed handball, one moment, and potentially 150 million on the line. Football. Man, one hand can change everything. Let's rewind to June 22nd, 1986. Quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. Argentina versus England. The game was already intense, not just because of football, but because of politics. Just 4 years earlier, the two countries had fought in the Falklands War. So yeah, tensions were sky high. Then came the moment that changed football forever. In the 51st minute, Diego Maradona jumped to challenge England's goalkeeper, Peter Shilton, for a loose ball. Shilton, being over 6 feet tall, should have won it easily. But somehow the 5'5" Maradona got there first, with a little help from his hand. He literally punched the ball into the net. No VAR, no slow-motion replays at the time. Just pure chaos. Referee Ali bin Nasser didn't see the handball. Neither did the linesman. And so, goal given. Maradona later cheekily said it was scored a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. That's where the name came from, the Hand of God goal. People went wild. England protested, fans were outraged, but the goal stood. That goal put Argentina 1-0 ahead. Just minutes later, Maradona scored another goal, this time legit, and it's now known as the goal of the century. He dribbled past 5 England players like they were traffic cones. Argentina won the game 2-1.
It was your hand or the hand of God?
Sí, no, for me, man.
It was my hand.
The Hand of God goal became one of the most talked about moments in sports history. FIFA never took it back, and even after Maradona admitted years later that he did use his hand, fans still debate it. Dirty trick or genius move? One illegal tap with the hand, and it helped Argentina go on to win the World Cup. That moment still echoes today. Some call it cheating, others call it legendary. Either way, it's unforgettable. June 27th, 2010. England versus Germany. Round of 16 at the World Cup in South Africa. Germany was already up 2-1, but England was fighting back. Then came that moment, the one that still makes English fans roll their eyes and mutter, "How on earth was that not a goal?" Frank Lampard takes a shot from outside the box. The ball hits the crossbar, bounces down, and lands clearly over the goal line. And when I say clearly, I mean about 18 inches over the line. Even people in the nosebleed seats could see it went in. Replays showed it over and over, and everyone agreed. Everyone except the people that actually mattered. The referee and the linesman. They waved the play on like nothing happened. No goal, just silence from the officials. England should have been level at 2-2. Instead, the game shifted. Germany went on to win 4-1. That moment didn't just hurt England, it embarrassed FIFA. Millions watching around the world saw it was a goal. Everyone except the referee. Frank Lampard later said it was one of the most frustrating moments of his entire career. And honestly, who could blame him? That disallowed goal changed everything. Not just the game, but football rules as a whole. That mistake finally pushed FIFA to do something they had avoided for years. Bring in goal line technology. Just 4 years later, in the 2014 World Cup, it was used for the first time. It cost FIFA millions of dollars to implement globally, but one bad call in 2010 made it very clear guessing was no longer good enough. The 2002 World Cup gave us a match that still has Italian fans grinding their teeth. South Korea versus Italy in the round of 16. On paper, it looked like Italy had the edge. They had stars like Francesco Totti, Paolo Maldini, and Alessandro Del Piero. South Korea, a strong team, sure, but not exactly favorites to knock out the Azzurri. Unless, of course, the referee decides to become the star of the show. Byron Moreno from Ecuador took charge of that game. And he definitely took charge. Early on, he gave South Korea a very soft penalty. Luckily for Italy, Buffon saved it. But that was just the beginning of a wild night. Christian Vieri scored for Italy and they were leading 1-0. Then came the drama. South Korea equalized in the 88th minute, sending it to extra time. That's when things really went off the rails. Francesco Totti got his second yellow card, and a red, for diving. Except replays showed there was contact. Even neutrals watching from home were scratching their heads. And then came the real heartbreak. Damiano Tommasi scored what looked like the golden goal, only for it to be flagged offside. Again, the replay said otherwise. Eventually, An Jung-hwan scored the golden goal for Korea and sent Italy packing. The entire stadium exploded with joy, while Italy exploded with outrage. Even years later, people still talk about this match. Byron Moreno? He was later suspended by his own football federation, and in 2010, arrested in New York for smuggling cocaine. Yes, really. It wasn't just a defeat for Italy, it felt like daylight robbery. What do you think? Was this the worst refereeing performance in World Cup history? In 2009, France and Ireland were battling it out for a spot in the 2010 World Cup. It was a crucial playoff match, and for Ireland, it was a chance to reach their first World Cup in over a decade. But what happened next? Well, it's one of the most controversial moments in World Cup qualifying history. Enter Thierry Henry and his handy assist. In the dying moments of extra time with the score tied 1-1, France won a free kick near the edge of the box. The ball was crossed into the area, and, well, Henry did what only Henry could do. He controlled the ball with his left hand, twice, before crossing it to William Gallas, who scored the goal that sent France to South Africa, leaving Ireland stunned and fuming. Now let's break it down. There's no denying that Henry's handball was blatant. It wasn't just a tap. He deliberately used his hand to control the ball. The Irish players immediately protested, and fans around the world were in disbelief. Of course, no penalty was given. Referee Martin Hansen had a front row seat to the entire thing, but chose not to call it, and the goal stood. As you can imagine, the Irish team wasn't too happy. They demanded a rematch, even taking their complaints to FIFA. But as much as they wished for a do-over, FIFA was like, nope, deal with it. The match result stood, and France made it to the World Cup, where they, well, let's just say they didn't exactly set the tournament on fire. Thierry Henry later admitted he'd handled the ball and even apologized. But it was too little, too late. The damage was done, and the Hand of Frog, as it became known, will forever be etched in the minds of football fans. What do you think? Was this the most controversial moment in World Cup qualification history? Let us know in the comments. And hey, Don't forget to subscribe for more football drama.